Well, I learned about the ride last year when I first bought my motorcycle. I soon found about this organization called HOG, and thought, well, great way to meet people who are doing the same things I'm doing. Got the magazine and realized they sponsored rides and said, I'm in, let's go.
You know, when you're barreling down the freeway at 80, 85 miles an hour sometimes, you realize that you are just a fraction from death at any moment. So I kind of live life on the edge in safe ways with reasonable assurance of good outcome. I'll press the limit, but that's part of it. You got to like the adventure. You got to like the freedom that the road offers as well as the challenges.
When we did Portland to Portland and we had a police escort going into Maine, all the city streets were closed for us to just do a parade through Maine. And I remember going through this one small town and everyone was lining the streets because the traffic had stopped, so they all got out of the cars. And there was an older gal standing on the sidewalk in a house dress next to her husband, I'm assuming, and she sees me and she elbows her husband. She says, "That's a girl! You go!"
My buddy Easner Mandan, he registered and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm going on this bus ride," and I just sloughed it off like I really didn't think too much of it. And then at 10 p.m. The day before, I phoned him up and I said, "Ease, I'm going to go with you." And he says, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." And I asked the wife and she said, "Yeah, get lost, you know." So I went out there and sure enough, I hopped on the bike, got all my gear ready, and boom, I was gone.
We love to do things as a family. So I have my husband, my eldest son, and my daughter, and her husband. She just recently married in January, and they all went on the original posse ride 2 years ago with us. But Ann and Kelly were not married at the time. But since then, we've had a wedding, and we had to plan the wedding around the posse because, you know, it was in the middle.
The posse ride has a lot of miles involved. It happened to be going through parts of the United States that has some historic value to it. Both of us are retired. We can afford to go. We've got the time to go. And it's a prestigious thing to ride, you know, from border to border. How many people have taken a vacation, or whatever they want to call it, and go from the furthest part south to the furthest north? So that's a thing. You know, we made the posse ride in 1999.
What we try to do when we plan a rally, a touring rally, and look at the route, is try to achieve a balance between structure and unstructured activities. We'll start here in South Padre Island with 400 strangers. Some people know, others some don't. By the time we get to the Peace Gardens on the Canadian border, we'll be some of the best friends you'll ever meet. I've seen people form lifetime friendships from routes like these. So what we try to do is kind of maybe set the stage, if you will, and let the members provide the entertainment.
I'm here tonight to celebrate the second anniversary of my 36th birthday.
You're 36 years old?
No, the second anniversary of my 36th birthday.
He had to figure it out.
I had to go through that again, you know what I mean? But, you know, shit happens when you get my age.
I really don't know how it's going to turn out, but just for the camaraderie, it's like, you know, you get, like I've met a guy from New Zealand and met a bunch of people from Alabama and stuff like that, and they've, like, we're just like family. So, and that's, I think, the beauty about HOG, the Harley Owners Group. It sort of gives you that a feeling of family, and it's really relevant, you know, all around. Like, you just talk to anyone, and instantly they'll talk to you. I mean, I'm not knocking any Hondas or anything, but you know what? You just don't get that when you ride a Honda. That's just basically what it boils down to.
It's like a fishbowl. If you have a community of fish and you dump one fish into the bowl, the community sort of looks at that fish as like he's a foreigner. But the minute you take all those fish and dump them out of the bowl and put them back, now they're all in the same boat again. So, and that's sort of how the dynamics of this whole ride starts.
You can go any place where there's a group of Harleys parked and go in and people talk to you, and it's really a leveler. You have people that ride their bikes that don't have any other form of transportation, and you have people that this might be the only mileage they put on their bike. And as far as professions, you're going to get everything. And you know what? I don't really know that that comes up even a whole lot, what people do or anything. Maybe where are you from and how did you get here? And then it kind of goes from there.
But anyway, so he says, one day I'm going to get a Vespa or something. I'm going to go on my scooter and try to keep up with y'all. But he's just has never been as interested. Lord, he's 28. He's the one that's, he just doesn't ride. And he's the one that's getting married in August. So
we probably would have gone anywhere. And this would have been maybe our last choice, is if we were choosing a route, but we would have gone regardless of where they took us.
We always read hog tales to see what's going on, and we decided that this particular one we had to do since we had done the first one, and we'd met such wonderful people and got to see half the country, so we figured this time we'll go see the rest of the country.